starting to record. Yep,
All right.
we're good.
All right. So, welcome to the Kernel Literature Review. Our first book is Atomic Habits by James Clear. We're 2 weeks into this. We're scheduled to review this book over the course of a month. So, we're doing our halfway point meeting to discuss the first 137 pages of the book. Atomic Habits,
Hey,
James Clear.
I don't have mine, but
So, initially, the plan was for each of us to have roughly 5 minutes to discuss anything that you wanted to about the book so far, then have a group discussion afterwards. I'm just gonna jump right into mine. I took a few notes here and there, and the first note I took was in the introduction. Let's see, I called it my one takeaway. Changes that seem small and unimportant at first will compound into remarkable results if you're willing to stick with them for years. Now, understand we're not years into this. We're 2 weeks,
yeah,
14 days into this. But who knows? This may turn out to be something much larger. And we may do this for years. And we'll have dozens of books under our belt at that point. And it all started out with the habit of reading. So felt that was kind of relevant to what we're doing.
yeah.
And then the next notable quote I wrote down, all it is just a definition of a habit. A habit is a routine or behavior that is performed regularly and in many cases automatically. And like an example, like that, in my life, I wake up in the morning. First thing I do is take a shower, and immediately after shower, I put my clothes on. I put clothes on, I make a cup of coffee. I've just made that my habit. That's a routine I do every single day, and it is pretty much automatic. Especially the coffee part. That's something, the other stuff is kind of just basic and simple. But the coffee thing, that's something that could be skipped. That's something I do every single day. I'll get more into that here in a second. Let's see. Another thing that I liked was in the fundamentals section of the book. My one takeaway was this quote: the whole principle came from the idea that if you broke down everything you could think of that goes into riding a bike and then improved it by 1%, you would get a significant increase when you put them all together. Which, once again, this lines up perfectly with something else we're doing. We're doing this fitness challenge. And the fitness challenge is one push-up, one sit-up, one jumping jack, one squat, one bottle of water a day. This made the statement by 1%. That's essentially what we're doing. If you just done that basic, that simple one, that's just pretty much 1%. But increase that over time. Put those together, it makes it a larger increase. Better for many aspects of it. Not just fitness, but drinking the water. That's good for your health in many different ways. So the more water you drink, better off you're going to be. The more push-ups you can do, the better off you're going to be physically. So figured that applied pretty well to us. Let's see, I wrote this down. Just some takeaways out of the book about the environment matters. Make it obvious. And here's an example of what I'm doing. I've placed a water bottle next to my coffee maker for the morning time. So in order to build upon a habit that I already have, which is, I then laid that out when I get to the step of making my cup of coffee. While it's sitting there being made, I have a bottle of water there. I walk 3 foot to my right and get my supplements that I take every day, that I should take every day, but I forget to because sometimes they're in the cabinet. So what I've done is I got one of those old persons, Sunday through Saturday pill separators, and I put my supplements in it. So while my coffee's being made every day, I go over there and get my supplements. And I drink an entire bottle of water and take my supplements every single day. So that's just another way I incorporated a habit onto a habit that I already had. So now it's become normal.
Is that like the X I will Y thing?
Do what now?
Is that like the win X I will Y type thing?
Yes, that's exactly it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's like I've tried to do that too.
Let's see. All right, that's all the notes that I took, so I'll just talk this real quick. We've read 137 pages through this book, and what I've done is I have read every page, but I have listened to this thing in the audiobook in my car countless times for the past 2 weeks. So I'm just hitting like chapters at a time, and I'm really trying to pound some of these into my head. But a lot of this stuff is pretty simple. It's pretty basic, just creating a habit, putting it, and then getting rid of bad habits. But overall, this book is probably perfect for what we're doing and how we're starting something. And that's what this book is about. It's about starting something.
Yeah.
So overall, I like it so far. I've read this book in the past, or I've listened to it in the past. Now I'm actually getting to read it. I feel like I'm soaking in a little more now that we get this group by being held accountable about reading it and, trying to apply it. So I'm looking forward to the rest of the book, see how good it goes. That's all I got. So, Brian, if you want to go next.
Yeah, I'll go next, and it's just going to echo a lot of what you said. I, like you, I also listened to the book many years ago, and I've been listening to it on and off as I've been reading it. But I wrote down some stuff. Y'all forgive me for having to look down at my stuff here. But just some quotes from the book. Small habits make a big difference. Improving by 1% isn't particularly notable. Sometimes it isn't even noticeable, but it can be meaningful in the long run. And that goes back to the workout that we're doing. We might not be able to tell anything in 3 months, but if we keep doing it, and we will see results. And it all starts with one push-up, and I think that's a big thing I took away from this book. Just starting something, even small, can lead to great things. Let's see. It doesn't matter how successful or unsuccessful you are right now. What matters is whether your habits are putting you on the path towards success. And that again goes back to what I just said. Just doing something is the path to success. Doing nothing, we all know where that road leads, and I don't think any of us want to be there, honestly. But I think small habits and making sure we keep up with it. Like you said, the book's about creating habits. It's about creating good habits, and that's the important thing. And I'll get to the habit loop in a minute. And I don't know if that was in the first half of the book or not, or just what I was listening, but I remembered it. This one is probably the most impactful quote I have. It says, "You do not rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems." And I think that's what we do. We always end up on the system we put in place, for our habits. And like with the workout thing, system's pretty good, just do something for the most part, and I think that goes to the habit loop, and just, it makes it easy, and anything easy, that's what we want. Just as simple creatures as we are, we always look for something simple or the simplest way to do stuff. And, you just do it more, for sure, that way. Let's see. If you have trouble changing your habits, the problem isn't you, it's your system. Goes back to what I just said. You got to change the system to get results, because it always falls back on that system. You'll never quit something if you're like if you wanted to quit smoking. You're never going to quit if you could just reach and pick up a cigarette.
Yeah.
It's got to be gone. And that's going to go into this next thing with the habit loop. The habit loop is cue, craving, reward, response. It's hard to break something if that if the craving is there all the time. So you got to eliminate the craving. And like the habit loop for good stuff, it's fairly simple and easy. But the ones for bad stuff, like, you have a cue, like you're tired in the morning, first thing you do, smoke a cigarette to wake you up. And cravings a cigarette, reward is you're more awake. To make that in the habit loop, the first thing you want to do is make it unattractive or invisible. Um, the craving, maybe you got to change it out with something that's going to help you, like a cup of coffee, which is relatively not bad for you. The reward is you didn't smoke, and I think that's important. All right, let's see. My last one, it says some people spend their entire lives waiting for the time to be right for the time to be right to make an improvement. And I think that's something everybody struggles with is you know start working out Monday. That's the start of the week usually. And realistically, the time's never right to do any of that or anything. You just have to do it. And and that's why I thought week 0 was important with the workout. Is we wasn't just waiting around for a day to start it. We just started it. And I'm looking forward to listening to the rest of the book and reading the rest of it and seeing what else I can take from it. But I love this. This is awesome.
Yep.
But I yield. So
Adam, you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. I'm really enjoying the book. It's super like simply written. Like it's super understandable. Like anybody could know what he was sort of saying. Like I don't know. It's like it's written like I write, kind of. I don't know if that's a good thing or bad thing, but like
Good thing for you.
I guess yeah, good thing for me. But yeah, I mean, pretty much y'all said a few of my notes here, but like I wanted to say like he says you become what you repeat about yourself. So if you say you can't get up in the morning and run, you'll just never do it. You'll never do that. You're not a runner. If you say you're not a runner, you're not. So I mean, I don't guess he's saying necessarily lie to yourself, but like baby steps into it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and it says habits do not restrict freedom, and I thought that was interesting. Like the whole because he was saying that if you have like 1,000 habits, then like it seems like you have no spontaneous fun or instances of like I don't know. It just seems pretty interesting.
Yeah.
And he said good money habits will give you monetary freedom. So it's like it can all lead to more freedom in different ways and stuff. And then like reading is like it seems weird because I'm a writer and I don't read all that much. So like I had to make it obvious by putting the book on my pillow to read and to like make a real thing. Like I had to turn my TV off and like just sit with the book and also read it out loud. That's how I had to read it. And so I was like reading to myself almost. It was weird. But yeah, it's like so like I also try to do the whole like association thing, like the when X I will Y thing with like whenever I eat a plate of food at the house, I always wash the plate after. And that's just a little habit that I try to do, which just down on the thing later on. But yeah, I mean, like I'm not necessarily saying too much of different stuff that y'all were saying, but like I also really liked the pointing and calling section he talked about with the Japanese subway, where they like I mean I just talk to myself all the time if there's no one around, and that's just how I like make things solid for me in my head. Like I don't know, I pin down what I have to do and what I don't want to do. I'm like, I don't want to do that, but I have to. And then it just for some reason it's better. I don't know why. But then like, I also saw that it says that you make bad cues invisible, which I don't really think is a really strong thing. I think he says that in the book too. He says like putting your phone in another room so you don't have the habit of picking it up will never defeat you picking it up if it's there. Like it'll never stop you from doing it. It'll just stop you right then. So if you need to wash the dishes, you don't need the TV on. Turn the TV off. So like, but it will never stop you from having it. I don't know. But I think he says that. It's just like a momentary thing. And then And then he said it's the anticipation, not the reward, most of the time that like makes you crave something, which I'm not sure I agree on all the time. Like, but like it sometimes is, you
Yeah.
know. But and then he says, we are who we are around, and then I said I try not to believe like everyone. I believe like myself. He said the whole research where the scientists put, a guy walks into a room full of actors and he doesn't know they're actors, and they all tell him something that he knows to be completely false, and eventually he just agrees because there's like 8 people. And I don't know
the straight line thing.
I don't know that I would ever just be like, yeah, I'm wrong on that one, because I feel like I'm a little bit more. I don't feel like any of us would eventually just be like, yeah, you know what, my eyes are deceiving me. I don't think that's
right.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we're all kind of headstrong about that. Not necessarily like, I don't know. I'm not sure what I'm trying to say necessarily. Like, I feel like we all believe what we want, And then he says also, people want power, but like, because this was like the whole chapter where he was talking about like what people around you make you, how they make you, I guess, act or something. I don't know exactly. I can't remember how he said
Influence.
Influence. That's it. Yeah. So, but like, I don't ever want any power over anybody else. I guess just myself. I guess he meant by like power, like in like money and like maybe status. I guess just be like, nobody wants to be seen as that guy. They want to be seen as there he is.
Yeah.
I guess that's a good way to say it. And then part 10 of the book, which is the last part we read, it was pretty much a summary of the entire first half of the book. I don't know if y'all noticed that. Like, said every
he was building to it. Yeah,
he said every point. Said the whole book, and he said it again, and that was like the point. So, but yeah, let me see if I have any more notes I didn't say. Like, I mean, like, I'm really, I think I said it all. I even said the atomic means extremely small, which the whole point of the book is just doing a small thing. Eventually, so many times, eventually compounds into something big.